Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V, and this is a 2-litre EX manual. This particular car is registered SL12DFU with a mileage of 52,421 miles recorded. The reason we do all of our videos is essentially so that people get to see the cars we're advertising actually in operation, which we feel is important because we've been on too many trips to see cars where we've been told they're good, only to get there and drive them and find there's a fundamental issue that shows up whilst driving the car. So hence that's why we do this section of the video. We also do it on these very quiet country roads, very close to our premises, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, so hopefully then would be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, being a very, very well looked after car, obviously, and feels it straight away. It feels absolutely as tight as a drum on the road. Engine starts absolutely instantly and settles to a completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge running as a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. You may see it or hear a ping because it's on 35 miles left of fuel, so at any moment now the fuel light's going to ping on, so don't be surprised if that suddenly happens. The engines are absolutely brilliant engines. Honda, world renowned as the build with the best 4-cylinder engines in the world, bar none, in just normal operation. They're everything you'd hope for from a Honda. They're incredibly strong mechanically, and reliability is pretty much a given with them. Whoops a daisy. Go back, he's coming through at a fair old rate. Well, we know the brakes are good. The engines, as I say, but it's also an engine that is just lovely to use day in, day out. It's got a mechanical refinement to it and balance to the engine, which is, without comparison, in all honesty, but a superb unit. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox of the car. Clutch in the car absolutely perfect, bite point exactly where it's meant to be, and lovely and smooth in operation. Gearbox, pretty much all these CR-Vs are the same. It's just got a brilliant quality of gear change. This gearbox would happily go to any of Honda's more sporty cars. It's short in throw, it's got a mechanical kind of feel to it. Give me a second. That's just the parking sensors coming on because we're close to the hedge. But yeah, the gear change itself, it's just really satisfying to use it, because unfortunately, like so many car manufacturers seem to think, because the most gearboxes, the gear change, gear lever here isn't connected to the gearbox. It is, but only via cables. So that means, unfortunately, the gear change they give you can quite often feel kind of light, lifeless, vague, all the things I absolutely detest in a gearbox. This feels, although it isn't, as though it's going straight into gearbox underneath. It's just got that wonderful mechanical feel, short in throw, as I said, and just so satisfying to use. And that feels absolutely as new, which is typical, given it could have done 200,000 miles and they'll still feel the same. Steering of the car, again, absolutely fantastic. It's beautifully weighted. It makes the car feel really solid and secure on the road. It's kind of got a weightiness to it, which belies its power steering. Again, lots of manufacturers tend to give you a steering which is over light, and it can be feel so vague on the road, but this feels absolutely superb. It also tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. It's all exactly as it should be. Suspension of the car, what I'm looking for on road test is any kind of mechanical noises that shouldn't be there, any sort of knockings or clatterings coming from underneath the vehicle, and again, absolutely nothing. The suspension also, Honda know this market so well. It's the best-selling SUV in the world, and then what they give you is a very compliant, beautifully damped ride, but one that also allows it to go through corners without excessive kind of lurching and pitching and wallowing, which you can get with this type of vehicle. So they've obviously they know exactly what their customers want, and they deliver absolutely superbly on that. Coming to the interior, it's not been cleaned yet, but it is very, very clean in here. It's been a beautifully kept car, I have to say. The interior on too many CR-Vs can look quite sort of tatty and old. Nothing to do with build quality, by the way, because they are beautifully put together, but kind of the use they get as sort of family carriers of kids that like to sort of bang the seats and everything else as much as our kids do. The build quality, as I said, is extraordinary. There's not a squeak or a rattle from the interior. Just absolutely wonderfully assembled, and a really lovely, simple dashboard to use. Sat nav, as you see there, big screen, working absolutely perfectly. Air conditioning, which gives you the option of different temperatures side to side, pumping out lovely cold air. Dash binnacle in front, typical old school Honda, I love it. Big symmetrical dials for your rev counter and speedo. Minimal information, but beautifully presented, absolutely beautifully done. I mean, it's very well equipped dash, but it's not overdone. You can get in the car and you can drive it straight away without thinking about it necessarily. Steering wheel leather bound, feels absolutely as new to hold, and feels absolutely great in hand. This is a 4-wheel drive CR-V, but there's no buttons to activate it or anything at all. It does it all for you. Basically, if it needs to go into 4-wheel drive, it'll do it. It runs in front-wheel drive pretty much the whole time by itself in 2-wheel drive. Should you encounter a bit of snow, ice or mud, and the front wheels momentarily lose grip, it instantly and seamlessly brings in the rear wheels to give you 4-wheel drive. The advantages are simple. It basically means by not running permanently in 4-wheel drive, you're not going to get through your tyres as quickly or use as much fuel. And also it puts far less mechanical stress through the vehicle, which also lends itself to giving it its reliability, because in nearly 30 years of selling Hondas using this system, we've never so much as put a spanner on one of them in terms of the 4-wheel drive system, so it is incredibly robust. As I said at the start of the video, it's only brief, but it is literally just to show the car operating and to feedback on anything at all, and there's nothing. It drives absolutely perfectly. If you've got any questions at all, don't hesitate, do give us a call.